I'm printing my current iteration of Obsidian so I can look at that.
All
I
right,
made
great.
changes after you sent me that email this morning.
So we are live, and we're doing a session 0 for an upcoming BrigadeCon game. And so here's 3 of my 4 players. One of my players is a few hours ahead of us, so she said she may not be able to make it. So she's hopefully going to watch this session 0. So I don't want this session 0 to be too long. I just thought it'd be really nice because I don't think I've played with any one of you before. So and you've not played with me, so I always think it's good just to at least talk about what we're expecting to get from this one shot, so that everyone gets the most fun from it, because that's really my ultimate goal, is to make sure that you guys at the end of it are like, wow, that was fun. That was fun. So I just want to talk a little bit about like my GM style. I'm definitely a flavor over crunch GM. So I'm not all about crunching large numbers and hitting really hard, though. I mean, obviously players will do that and mobs will do that, but I'm definitely story over crunch for sure. So I want, so that's just one of the things I like to do. There was definitely a time in my playing and GMing that I was probably more crunch than story. So that's the intent of this game. This is really supposed to be an epic. I mean, come on, Dungeons and Dragons. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to fight dragons. So what better one shot than fighting a dragon? So that being said, do folks have any questions about that? About the crunch versus the story? No. Okay. Cool.
I just want to know if it's actually possible to kill the dragon.
Oh yeah, just so you guys know, I have beta tested this with a group of players that I play with a lot. So you can kill a dragon. You can kill this dragon. They definitely did, and one of them did unfortunately not make it. But yeah, you can. It's going to hurt, but you can kill it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of. I'm also not a big fan of making games that are just unwinnable. You know, and not that it's about winning, but I mean setting you up against something that would be that never feels good for me as a player when I'm constantly just getting slapped around or whatever. So definitely this is a scenario that's winnable. It's hard, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, this is a grim and perilous journey. It takes place in, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Warhammer fantasy setting. That's where I set most of my games, is in that setting. It's the Empire. You're in the barony of Ostermark, which is more very Viking-esque. So yeah, so it's grim and it's brutal. I'm going to be using the environmental conditions, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Critical Hat Productions. Environs, yeah. So I'm going to be using. That's where the additional backgrounds and material came from that I sent you guys. It comes out of those. They have an Arctic adventure environment, and they have a mountains environment. So I'll be using those sorts of challenges for you guys. So this isn't just about fighting the dragon. At the first and foremost, it's like getting to the dragon can be challenging and perilous. So, so any questions thus far? So I think you guys have been. Well, let me pause. See, I have a big habit of doing that. So I ask a question and then I don't wait for an answer. So please, any questions thus far?
Well, so far it seems pretty straightforward. You battle the environment, get to the dragon, kill it.
Right
Simple.
on. And get the reward at the end for sure.
Or die with glory. That's good too.
Well, are you guys familiar? Do you guys know Caius? He's on the OSG. Yeah. He was my guy that perished. Actually, I think they revived him at the end, but he definitely got beat down. But it was fun. So, Tyler, do you have any questions?
I was gonna say that I noticed on the equipment sheet you sent us for the Arctic stuff that there wasn't a price list on anything.
No, you're just gonna have you're level 8. I mean, come on.
So just take whatever we want, basically.
Yeah, you're level 8. You're gonna as long as it's not magic, it's beyond the magical equipment that you guys are starting with. You guys can have any mundane equipment. You guys are level 8. You guys probably would have earned quite a bit of fortune, so buying that stuff would be easy.
All right, guys, I'll be bringing 10 bottles of that Sun whiskey then.
Right. It will be cold. So excellent.
Sounds good to
I
me.
think generally my questions are mechanical because this is my very first time ever running something or not running something, but being in an online game and being involved with 5th edition. So I'm kind of learning as I'm going along. I'm reading the Barbarian and I'm really liking it.
All right, good. Well, that's good. I mean, that's important to let me know that because this is definitely this will be a new player friendly game. I mean, so don't worry about that. That's another nice thing about story over crunch. You don't have to worry so much about that. So you're going to play a barbarian, right? Then we got a ranger and a cleric, and I believe a bard. I believe Becky's playing a bard.
With 20
And,
AC.
Yeah, with plate mail.
20 AC. Well, yeah. Which is phenomenal in and of itself.
Yeah, I don't
Actually,
even have that.
Actually, it's not actually because I play in my home game. We have a bard in our group, and he has 21 AC. It's pretty crazy. All right, so I'm just gonna make some notes here. All right. So beyond that, so let's talk about that. So we got a bard with 20 AC. So the fight's got to be epic. So I guess the more you build your guys up to be really, really badass, the more badass the dragon will be. Obviously, the more hit points it'll have and all that stuff. So it's not. So don't go opening up your monster manual and looking up the different white dragons and saying, okay, I got to be able to hit an armor class 16 and it's going to have 194 hit points. Don't save yourself the energy, because the more tough you are, the tougher the dragon will be. Just because one of the drawbacks I see in 5e is that a lot of things hit hard, so hit points almost have to be deeper. But it will definitely be a challenge regardless. Like I said, first and foremost, I hope that it's fun. Let me see.
So I should tell you I'm coming with a toothpick until I actually bring out Betsy, right?
Right. Right. Okay, so we got. So did you guys have questions about like the magic items? What you guys were planning on having? I know, Carol, you're going to have a Warhammer Betsy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I was looking at what, maybe +2 fire damage on her. Would that be appropriate?
Well, I was thinking like fire damage would be in addition to your weapon damage. So as you hit with your weapon, it would do fire damage. So that would be just another die of damage.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I'll change that.
Yeah.
To just another die of damage. Cool. Common magic items. What sort of things? Heal potions.
Right. Heal potions could be something you would probably want to have. But what I really encourage players to do is be creative. Think about what is something that would be fairly common that's not going to game break. You know, when I did the beta run of this one shot, I had one player, and I think I told you guys this. He had a rock that whatever he thought about and threw it, it would hit it. And it was just this little rock. So it didn't really cause any damage or anything, but it really helped them because they got lost in the snow, and he thought of one of the characters that had got lost, and he threw it and he hit him, and the guy yelled out and they were able to find him. So, and then he had a rope that was almost like a dog. It acted like a dog, so he could kind of give it little simple commands like a dog. So there's just some things that definitely aren't going to like break the game, but are what would be fun and flavorful. So definitely I encourage you guys to do those sort of things. Think of like Lord of the Rings, Gandalf, when he takes his staff and he blows upon that crystal on his staff and it lights up. Stuff like that. You know, like, so you're not going to have like I don't know, like a mansion. You're not going to have this coin that you slap down on the ground and it turns into one of those mansions that you can walk inside and sleep in inside another dimension. That's not going to happen. But yeah, so be creative, I guess, is what I encourage you guys to do.
Instant fortress.
Right.
It's,
yeah, that's
40 feet tall, 20 feet around. It's all mithril, indestructible. No, we're set, guys.
Yeah,
White Dragon? No, mithril tower.
Right. And I think, is it you, Tyler, that was planning on taking that arrow that was in the
Yeah, I'm planning on taking the grappling arrow. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
some fun with that.
yeah,
Awesome.
that's pretty cool. Yeah. So if you guys given any thought about your uncommon magic?
I did have a question because I watched Tabletop Terrors and they did their thing for their setup for the game. Also, they're doing uncommon magical items also, and they used Be a Better Weapon Master to roll up a weapon, and then between the DM and the player, they statted it out so it was uncommon.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do that with my crossbow. If you're okay with it, if not, I already have an uncommon item.
Yep. If you want it to be a weapon, that's fine. I don't have any problems. I use that supplement all the time.
So yeah, if you're okay with that, I would just roll one up and then send you what I got, and then we could work on mechanics together about what it is.
Yep. Sure. Yeah, we could do that. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
That's a fun supplement.
I'm down for that as well. Oops, sorry. Go, Carol.
Oh, that's all I was going to say.
Okay, so you guys are going to go with weapons. Okay.
I'm assuming Betsy fits in that category.
Yeah, Betsy. Yeah, Betsy. Yeah,
And she may be a person.
Yeah, we've chatted a little bit back and forth about that. So yeah, definitely. I think yeah. Carol's already doing that, guys. So
Yes,
she's already got some
Betsy has
flavor
a better
on Betsy.
backstory than I do.
Sure is looking that way. Nah, just kidding. No. So you're a cleric. What kind of cleric?
I am a war cleric,
Cleric. Okay. Oh, okay. So you're basically a cleric fighter.
mountain dwarf.
Right. And Taylor, you're human? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm human. Oh, yeah, I'm human.
Okay. Ranger. Did you take the variant?
Yeah, I
Or
took the variant.
Okay, cool. So you took an extra feat.
Crossbow expert.
Did you talk to the guys that baited my game? Because we had a crossbow expert in that.
No, I took 3 feats instead of taking any ability score improvements. So I got crossbow expert, sharpshooter, and alert.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited to dole out tons of damage and go first every single time.
Good. Dragons are always looking for the guy that does the most damage.
I'll hide behind a barbarian. He's
They
gonna
crunch
follow
well.
me.
Oh yeah, and we got a barbarian.
I'll stand between them, like between the barbarian and the ranger.
Right. Cool.
Take a little damage. Try to keep people alive. I'm taking the shield bash feature.
Right. So yeah. So I don't. You guys don't know. Sometimes GMs ask their players to send their character sheet. I don't ask my players to do that. I work on the honor system that players will just, build their character based on the rules, with the point buy and everything, and they take feats within by the system. So I think it's like variant human gets one at first level, then everybody else is at 4 or 8. So.
Yeah, so since I didn't take any ability score improvements, I should have 3. So we'll see how that maneuver pays off for you. You're the first person I've ever seen to do that, but be interesting. Hoping it works out. We'll make it work.
Yep. Good. All right. Let me see. Trying to think if I have any other questions. Do you have any questions just based on the scenario? So just so you guys know, because I'm not giving much away. You guys are going to start. You're going to be already well on your journey, obviously, to hunt down this dragon. So, is there anything that you guys would? So we're not going to role play or dig into anything prior to you guys being in the midst of that. So, are there any questions that you guys would want your characters would have wanted to ask or do prior to that? And if you don't have the question now, that's fine. You can shoot them out. Just make sure you include everybody in it, unless it's something private that you don't want the other players to know. Just shoot me an email or something. But if you guys...
So have we all been hired then to hunt this dragon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Jarl Olgarsson, I think is what I called him.
I'm just going to say then that beforehand, Goldbrander would be doing it for free. He's a big game hunter. So he's doing this for the thrill of the hunt.
Well, this is definitely big game. Yeah. So Jarl Sigard Ogilson is.
Yeah, he would do it on the basis that he got to keep the hide. He doesn't want any pay. He just wants the hide or the head.
Yeah, perfect. All right. And anybody else?
Well, he can get the head, but we'll fight for the hide.
Hey, trust me, guys. I'm gonna tell. I don't think I'm gonna give too much away. This dragon's gonna be plenty big enough. I think you guys could share the hide. I think you guys will be good.
Yes, obviously.
All right, perfect.
I'll take a claw.
So, yeah, actually, one of the players took 2 of the claws and actually made short swords out of them. So it was pretty OP.
Sweet.
Yeah. So let's talk about connections. So is there any connections that you guys want to have before this, or have you guys just kind of come together because you heard this call from the Jarl, and with the with the exception of the ranger who's doing it just for sport, with the offer of money and lands, if you can rid them of this menace?
I think LA and I kind of decided we'd be cousins.
Okay, cool. So cousins.
Yeah. I think I want to tighten up that connection a little more. We may be like blood sisters, shield sisters, or something of that tribal variety, because you have the location, like the area where this is taking place. That's all in the information on the event page.
Let me share a map with you guys.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because I'd love to see location. Because then I'd have a. You said this is taking place in Warhammer, eh? 40K.
Yeah, Ostermark.
Just the location there.
Yeah. So I'll screen share here.
Because that's kind of how I roll. I like to see where something is taking place, because then I can look at the names of stuff, and then I can sort of come up with an idea and, gravitate towards that.
Right. So can you guys see that?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So so this is just a cutaway of Ostermark, and the red dot, where is Hafrafel is, which is the village that's been harassed by this dragon, and the black dot symbolizes roughly where her lair is. So being dwarfs, more likely than not, you see Karak Kardrin.
Mm-hmm.
That's more likely than not where you guys would be from, unless you were from further. But that would make the most sense. Dwarves usually get together in, like you said, large clans, and they usually build these large mountain citadels in and around these passes. So
beautiful. So very traditional lore type of style when you think of dwarves.
Yep, definitely. They can be found in and around. The most popular race, of course, is humans. So Tyler, your guy, could be basically from anywhere. And as a large game hunter, he probably is traveling quite a bit of the north. There's a lot of the wilds are pretty common up here to have a lot of larger game, trolls and whatnot. So I'm assuming dragon would probably be his largest game yet.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. I think that he's been spending a lot of time in the mountains, because I have his favorite terrains is mountain and forest, hunting griffins for different villages that are being harassed and stuff, or dealing with orcs and goblins, whatever. So I think that definitely this is his biggest game that he's had yet.
Right. Well, good. That'll come in handy, having a ranger that is familiar with the mountains. So would you be just someone that just kind of showed up hearing the call of this large game, and so you're kind of thrust into the company of these dwarfs because you're the only human in this group?
Yeah, I think almost I would have shown up and been like, look, I'll take care of this for you. Just find some other people. And then these 3 show up and I'm like, okay, I'm your guide. You're helping me take this down.
Yeah. Yeah, show off your overlay while we're doing this little session 0.
Yeah, okay.
Looked really good.
So that's the overlay I'll be using for the game. Anyone who wants one, I'll make them one also. And obviously yours will be unique as the DM, since you don't really have a character that you're playing as.
Right.
You just give me the specifics and I'll throw one together for you.
Right. Perfect. All right.
And yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
look-
help you get it to work, Carol. That's fine.
Yeah, perfect. I have a lot of trouble with overlays, so other than the fact I don't have a clue how to make them.
Yeah, I do a lot of my gaming with XSplit, so I usually build my overlays on XSplit. But I've been toying a little bit more and more with making lower thirds, but I am still very much a novice for sure. And when I saw yours, Tyler, I was like, wow, this is the or is it Taylor? Tyler.
It's Tyler. Tyler.
Tyler. Okay. Yeah, I saw yours. I was like, wow, I'm gonna ask this guy to make me one.
Yeah, dude, I got you covered, man. You just give me the specifics, and I'll throw one together for you.
Yeah, we'll talk off camera about what your little extra bonus is going to be from the GM for making the overlay.
That's the only reason why I did this, guys. Let it be known.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about rolling. Let's talk about dice. So my rule around dice is I don't really have a rule. So you're welcome to use the what is it? Dice Stream or Bones, or use real dice. I mean, like I said, I work on the honor system. If you want to use real dice, I'm going to use real dice. So whatever you guys want to roll with, just go with it. One of the things I'd like to do though is, and I've seen other players do this, I've done this in other games too, is so when like maybe you're doing something and I set a DC or whatnot. So I'm really big on including my players in describing what they do. So if I tell you a DC, like I might put in chat, like the DC's 15. You make your roll, then describe to us what happens based on your success or failure.
Yeah, I like that
Right.
system. That's a good way of playing.
Yeah. Then it takes then I don't necessarily need to kind of always decide what happens to your character. Give you guys some agency to decide what happens if you succeed or you fail. I'm also a big believer in a lot of things that there's not total success, like total failure. So even if you don't make it, say the DC's 15 and you roll a 13, you might have some marginal success. It just may not be as successful as you had hoped. So if you're trying to leap across a crevasse and you roll a 13 instead of the 15, yeah, you don't land on the other side on your feet, but you might land and do one of those, like you see it in movies all the time, boom, land with like your arms and your chest hitting the edge, and maybe you might be able to make a strength, athletics to like pull yourself up, or maybe other players might be leaping to your aid to like pull you up. I seldom will your fate be decided on one roll. I say seldom because there's always got to leave that little window that something might actually happen. But so that's just how I usually like to roll things. And if you guys are cool with that, then we'll go with it. If you guys have other suggestions, then now's a good time to make them.
So I did have one question because I was looking at the special backgrounds you were talking about. One of them was the Arctic Born. So the only thing that's dissuading me from taking it is that Outlander gives me the Wanderer feat that lets me feed myself. If I'm in a terrain with food, I can feed myself and up to 6 other people. Would that kind of fall under Arctic Born too, seeing as like you know how to survive in bad conditions? Or
you're a ranger.
Yeah.
You could feed yourself and your party anyways. Your favorite terrain is mountains, so with a rare exception, probably when you get really far up, higher elevations in the mountain, then it might get more difficult. But at least my understanding of the rules, and it's been a while since I cracked open a player handbook and read Ranger, but I think a ranger can pretty much feed their party.
Yeah, I believe it just makes it so that if you're in your preferred terrain, you don't have like difficult terrain doesn't stop you. I have advantage on tracking creatures in that terrain as well as moving normally. We can move full speed and stealthy rather than having our speed.
Right.
You also get to feed your party.
Yeah. Oh, I do? Okay, never mind. I'm going to take Arctic Born then.
Yeah, that's flat out part of the ranger thing.
Yeah.
I've got one going right now.
Either Arctic Born or Mountaineer then, because that climbing ability to save someone might come in handy.
Oh yeah, I went Mountaineer. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. That's going to, I mean, really, when you think about it, it's going to be just as much survival against the elements as it is against this dragon. So I think having a ranger that has some expertise and skill in that area will be helpful to the party for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Arctic Born then.
Excuse me?
So I was going to say not just that, but he's adventuring with two other mountain dwarfs, one of whom is a barbarian. So I'm assuming that I would have some, if not skill-oriented or skill-based, at least some general knowledge of the area, the same as Carol's character, because we're so we're affiliated with that mountain range kind of thing. And
Right. Yeah. So you guys are familiar with the mountain range for sure. The World's Edge Mountains. So you would the standard stuff you would know for sure. And I'm not sure what sort of dwarf Becky's going to be playing, but I'm assuming she'll probably be playing a mountain dwarf too. I don't know. That's a big assumption on my part. But yeah. Yeah. I think that you guys would have some working knowledge, maybe not of the specific area, but I think that it's reasonable to think that you guys would know, hey, don't kick that rock because you're going to start a rock slide type stuff. You guys would all know that stuff. I guess what would be, so what you probably would do is we probably would do group skill challenges in situations like that, where everybody rolls the survival and we go with the greater majority of that. So yeah, well, maybe why don't we do this then? On your character sheets, just make a note where it's survival, even if it's not trained for your guys. Just since you're mountain dwarfs, just make a note that you're considered proficient for survival checks in the mountains. So that way it's just limited to that. So you'll be able to add your proficiency bonus to your checks for survival.
Okay. I think the mountaineer automatically comes with proficiency in survival.
Right.
So,
yeah, so
that's
not just that, but we're dwarves, so we're probably proficient with survival and mead and dwarven spirits.
Unless you're like and con saves against passing out when drunk.
Yeah, unless you're like that really odd dwarf, the one that never fit in, that was always like, no, I don't drink. No.
Maybe that's my dwarven cleric.
I'm going to go over here and finish.
Oh, that would be great.
You became a cleric is to hide the fact you can't drink.
I would always be pressuring you to
can't hold my booze, so I became a cleric.
That way you had an excuse not to drink.
You're different from every dwarf. You're different from every dwarven cleric I've ever met. That's why they became a cleric. I have to drink to my gods. Right.
No, I just have to kill things for mine.
Right. So this is good. So we have. I think we're gonna have a good party. I think you guys have some survivability that'll make it fun. For sure.
Oh, I had one question about one of the spells.
Yep.
And that was water walk. The water walk spell says that. Wait, I had it right here. Why did I do that? Why did I set it down? Anyway, I was wondering if it was going to work on ice as well as snow. It says it works in snow. It allows you to basically move through it without difficulties.
Right. So you'd be able to like walk along the top of the surface of the snow.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that brings up. Thanks for bringing that up, Carol. So one of the things. So Mike Lasham, Mike the Piper, does this video on flavoring your magic. I'm really down with flavoring magic, so making it your own. So if you're playing a magic class, feel free to color your magic how you see fit, how you think like Obsidian's magic would look. And I'm always open to folks. When I've played with Chad Nick, he does this all the time. Always be open when we're playing to say, what do you think? You think I can do this? Don't be afraid to ask, can I try this? Can I do this? Because, rules are great. I think we're gonna work within the rules of the game. But I'm a GM that sees them as like suggestions on how we play. So if you can make a reasonable, like, hey, can I do this? Do you think I could do this? I try to within all whenever I can, I try to let players be able to kind of be heroic, because you guys are heroes. You're level 8. I mean, you guys are like, there's a certain amount of renown that you guys would all have going on this. So I want you guys to feel that way as you head off to die. I mean, as you head off to kill this dragon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be flavoring my magic in a very different way. So just be ready for that. I mean, I'm playing a very different kind of ranger. I didn't take any damaging spells. I'm taking lots of augmentation spells.
Dude, you're playing it right. I have a ranger. He's around your level in a long running campaign. He doesn't have anything that does any damage, but let me tell you something. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because like just all of these things I'm looking at, like with the way I'm gonna play him, are gonna be so fun. Like I just almost imagined him that like super epic mountain man survivor, like Bear Grylls if he was in a fantasy setting.
Nice.
Oh,
Great.
cool.
I can't stand Bear Grylls, so I won't feel bad if you die now. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
Totally kidding. That was just totally kidding.
I'm not gonna drink my own piss. I'm gonna give it to other people.
Yes. No, really, I found this stream. Yeah, it was all a little off color, but
No, it's weird. It's magic. It must be magic. It was yellow.
Oh, yuck.
Oh, hey, if you guys have a
No.
YouTube channel or anything that you want me to plug or anything, just send it to me, and I'll put it in the event on the YouTube event description. I'll put it in the description for y'all. So send it along. All right, cool. I'm not sure if I'm subscribed to that yet, but I will. For sure, man.
Tyler, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you using the new version in the Unearthed Arcana for your ranger?
The ranger? No, I'm actually using the old version
Okay.
Yeah.
from the PHP.
Yeah, I was trying to run one from the new version. There's some real buffs involved there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I considered it, but considering that I've only ever played a ranger once and it was only in a one-shot also, I thought I'd just stick with the old thing and just...
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cap it. Like, you can use Swords Coast and you can use Player Handbook, but the Unearthed Arcana starts getting a little...
Well, yeah, because I was looking at it, and I figured also with this ranger, each turn, if I hit every single one of my attacks, I can drop... Let me see, 10, 6, 3... 8. I can drop 40 points of damage a turn if I hit with every single one of my attacks.
Right.
Oh no, 46 points of damage a turn.
Right, and that's you guys will hit a lot. I'm confident you guys will hit a lot. I mean, one thing in 5e is you don't have. I don't know if you guys ever played like Pathfinder or 3.5. I mean, it was like a number chase game. Usually by level 8, I mean you're having like, your armor class is 30 and you get plus 15 to hit things. Yeah, that doesn't happen in 5e, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
It allows you to still have at level 8 normal like plate armor as a fighter and still feel like you're viable, versus if you were playing a Pathfinder and you had normal armor at level 8, you're going to get hit all the time. So
See, now I have not played 5e with any sort of like regular campaign or anything above level 4. So this is a big departure for me. I don't know what
Carol,
level 8
welcome to
does.
the next level. You're going to enjoy this.
I'm going to forget.
It opens up a whole new game. Now, you are taking on quite a challenge because you're playing a caster that's level 8, but it'll be fun.
Remembering the things she can do just as a fighter is going to be hard enough. It scares me.
Right.
Don't forget those bonus action heals.
I'll probably forget half of what I can do and cripple myself as a player. That happens at level 4.
Right. Excellent. Well, I still do it all the time. I'll be like 2 rounds after and be like, oh crap, I was supposed to add this to my roll. Dang it. Yeah, so it definitely happens.
Crap.
We're gonna have fun.
I've been playing with one of my 2 attacks for the last 2 hours, or something like that.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll have fun, and we can retcon certain times. We might retcon something because somebody goes, "Oh wait, this should have happened." I'm usually fine with that. I'm not a big break the immersion of the game so that we can sit here and look up a rule. So we're going to do the best we can to kind of move the game forward. If you're a spellcaster, just have your spells ready so we don't lose a lot of game time. I do ask players to.
Why I'm taking a barbarian.
Right. This is why I usually do martial classes. What I ask players to do is just look at the initiative and be ready on your turn on what you want to do, so that other players aren't waiting too long. So what are some other combat rules that I use? So I don't play with flanking rules. Sometimes people will play with a flanking rule, like if you flank something, you get advantage to your attack. I don't do that. If you do flank, however, you can get a bonus of +2 to your attack.
I'm also old school, where I believe that you can't really flank it. Like, I mean, you may be able to flank smaller creatures, but I'm old school where I don't think you could flank a dragon.
Right.
You know, they usually have a blind sensibility or something.
Yeah, they do. So I'm bringing that up more because, and again, I don't think that this will break anything. Don't assume that the dragon's going to be by herself. You know, what dragon doesn't have some cohorts?
Dun, dun, dun.
Ice giants.
So,
Oh no!
Tell
Yeti.
me your crossbow's going to shoot like a machine gun, please.
he's gonna beating one.
Wargus.
Shoot twice for every regular.
Idea. My barbarian's going to be pretty big ass.
Yeah.
I've got a great sword that can. Great sword. I've got a great axe that can do a lot of damage.
Yep. We had a barbarian in the beta run, and he was awesome. He was phenomenal. I loved his character. He was a lot of flavor. I mean, he took a lot of damage, but barbarians, that's what they do. They take a lot. They give a lot, and they take a lot, and they can take a lot. So,
yep,
for sure. I was glad that there was a barbarian in the group. I'm glad that there's a ranger in the group, because that'll be very functional. I think it'll be helpful. Cleric, we didn't have a cleric last time, so that might actually really help y'all. So can't go wrong with a cleric.
Just so you know, my guy firmly believes in cutting off the weak link. So if you fall behind, like, he's leaving you.
So that would be player
you
knowledge.
One wrong move, boy.
Just
I'm
kidding.
gonna replace your nipples with your eyelid.
All right,
You're just trying to leave me behind. I'm as stubborn as a rock.
I'll leave you a bottle of whiskey, but that's about it.
Yeah, she'll just cast Walk on Water, and she'll just run right past you on the snow with her stubby little dwarven legs. No, what I want to know, I gotta ask this: Is it okay? Is it okay to throw a dwarf? That's what we just got to know. The question is asked. Now we just got to get the answers. So is it okay to throw a dwarf?
Galbrander wouldn't ask.
So he's a forgiveness rather than permission kind of guy.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
If he could pick up LA's dwarf, he's probably welcome to throw her.
Right.
She's
because I'm going to be slightly over 5 feet and about 220 pounds.
Oh, so you're a good-sized dwarf then.
It's a small, slightly obese child.
Is an old build. If I really want to get into just a touch of the character, she's one that she's an old skin I've worn like 20 years ago, because I've been doing DMing for over 22 years, and I live very well in 3.5. And Torga's always been a 4x4. She's always been she's been stronger, and I've done her in different incarnations, but she's been stronger than she has been quicker. But now that she's a barbarian, she's got 35-foot movement.
Yes. Yeah. Can everyone put?
And she's tall like a human, and built like it's out to here on a great big Scottish brogue.
Oh, jeez.
I can't do that.
I am so jealous of anyone that can do really good voices. But so Torga, Torga.
Torgga.
GG, okay. Sorry, Torga.
Double G's, baby.
Double G's. And Carol, what's your character? Obsidian, right?
Yep, Obsidian Stoutheart.
Okay. Carol. And then
Oh, Brandis good.
Tyler, you're
Galbrander, better known as Brand.
Goldbrinder. And you go by Brand?
Some
Nice.
people call him Brand.
I need to channel my dad's Norwegian accent. He would speak Norwegian.
Oh yeah.
Can't do it though.
So you guys, you gotta get your accents. You gotta get them lockstep, because if you guys are from the same holdfast, dwarven holdfast, you guys should sound the same, right?
I'm gonna go to sleep listening to a Scottish accent on YouTube, so I can come back on Saturday and be ready.
Well, this is why I said I kind of wanted to tighten up that connection a bit with Carol, and I'll go over how we kind of know each other, because I know that our accents are going to differ. Torg is an accent I can roll into like an old sleeping blanket.
What I could also do too, if you guys want to, if you guys talk like maybe off camera around that and decide maybe one of you guys could come from another holdfast and you were just like relocated up here. Maybe if it's Carol, maybe she was sent up by her order, her dwarven war cleric order to go to Karak.
Do you have a full map, by the way, of everything? Because I feel like Galbrander's been like everywhere.
Oh, I have Ostermark. I have the whole empire.
Okay.
And,
I mean, I just like to refer to other places and be like, oh, yes, I hunted this there one time.
Cool.
It was a good hunt.
I will shoot. I wonder if it's, it might be too big. Let me try to send you all something that just has the empire, the whole empire, and it's a map that you can zoom in and out of.
Cool.
Oh, that's perfect. I'll definitely use them.
Yeah. And if it's too big to do that, what I'll do is, you know what? I'll just share it on my Google Drive with y'all, so you guys can get it that way. Okay, good. So, any last questions? I'm sure that we'll all think of something when we step away.
When it's off.
Yeah, that's what I always do.
Yeah.
We all finish and we're like, oh crap.
I also kind of want my magical item to be multi-purpose. I noticed that there is, like she's a mountain dwarf, so I'm assuming on her weapon, maybe on the one side, there could be like a hook that she can use to sort of like to use the weapon, because she's going to have nothing else other than that great big war axe.
Have you seen the item list he sent out? Because on there's like this one cane thing that I feel like if you combined it with your hammer, it would work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Feel free to be, like I said, I mean, as long as what you're thinking about doing isn't game breaking, then I think that's fine.
My crossbow's magical enchantment lets me fire an infinite number of times a turn.
Oh, yeah. That probably won't break the game at all.
No, and every single shot hits also. I don't have to roll.
Perfect. Well, that's funny because the dragon's breath, it automatically kills anything it hits without a save.
Doesn't matter if I go before it.
I guess it comes down to initiative.
Oh yeah,
I'm rolling up front.
I'll be rolling off
in her lair. She always wins initiative in her lair.
Oh man, come on.
No, I'm just kidding. Just having some fun. No, it'll be fun. I think that it'll definitely be a challenge. We had some pretty good characters, good players, and it was still a challenge. That's why I was like, "Yep, I think this is pretty good." So yeah, any other questions? Definitely just use the group chat we got going in Messenger. Try not to send 65 messages in between when I check, because I was like, "Holy gosh!"
Did you see Obsidian's picture, Lionel?
Yes, it's beautiful. I love it.
Well, thank you.
I'm very jealous. I wish I could do that, because what you're able to do, what I do is like, and I always got to find an image like on Pinterest or something that isn't quite what I'm planning, but it's close enough because I don't draw very well.
Well, I have to break it down to like areas of dark and light and work with those. I can't draw a person.
Right.
I can translate
a great job of drawing a dwarf.
Well, what I did though was my original picture had dark and light, and so I used like the dark areas and the light areas and ported them across. You know.
Can I just say I love that you got your dwarven women have beards.
Well, otherwise she wouldn't look like a dwarf at all.
Yeah, it kills me when you find dwarven images of dwarven women and they don't have beards. I mean, they're like clean shaven. I mean, I think it fits the dwarves of Warhammer perfectly. So awesome.
Well, I could see him either way, but in this case particularly, I thought she's not going to look like a dwarf if I don't do the beard. And then I changed the aspect ratio of the picture after I drew it and scanned it, so that she's only 90% as tall as she was in the original picture, to make her squattier.
More squat, yeah. Yeah. All right. So just something you guys know too, as you guys fine tune your characters. Everyone's going to start. Will start with inspiration. So,
Okay.
and I always
Can you
tell
tell me
players.
how-
Excuse me.
Can you tell me how that works? Inspiration.
Right. So what inspiration, like the actual mechanic itself? Yeah. So how inspiration works is it allows you to roll an extra d20, whether it be for an attack, a skill check. Anytime you're rolling a d20, you can roll it. Now you can choose to use it anytime you want, but it has to be before what I tell you, whether you succeed or fail. So oftentimes a player will know, like they roll a 2 and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to use my inspiration. But sometimes a player may know, like maybe they roll a 15 and they're like, I think I made the roll, but I'm not quite sure. And they might try. So there's no harm so you just have to use it before you find out whether you succeed or fail. Now, obviously, I think the dynamic for that is going to be a little different because that's rules as written. So I think what will happen, because I'm going to give you guys the DC in chat as we're playing, so you'll know whether you succeed or fail. So you're going to still be able to decide whether you want to use your inspiration. Another thing players can do is they can share inspiration. Like let's say Carol has inspiration and you don't, and you fail a roll. She can say, I'd like to give him my inspiration. So she could actually hand her inspiration over to you, which allows you to roll that extra die. How you earn inspiration is by playing your guy, doing really awesome, phenomenal stuff, maybe outside the box stuff that just like blows me away. You can earn inspiration by doing that as well. So, and some people limit inspiration to 1. You can bank inspiration in the one shots I run. So,
Wow.
I mean,
I have a feeling with this campaign, it's going to be like inspiration.
I hope so.
right. So I'm sure I'll think of something else that I would want to share with you guys. But like I said, if I think of anything else, I'll add it. I am going to, unless there's any last questions, I'm going to stop the broadcast. All right, great.
That's it.